My name is Brian Nyagol, and there are a couple of things I remember about my childhood in the early 90s. When my parents came home one day with a black and white Great Wall TV that you had to pin a color screen on to get a bit of color. When my parents bought my brother a number of toys that were battery powered, one of them was a tractor that I loved so much, when I believed that all these things were supposed to be mine. I also remember when my career ambition changed from being a ballast breaker to an engineer. That was what I wanted to do. And when I saw electricians climbing up a long pole with leg hooks and harnesses around their waist, and I thought to myself, isn't that fun? Is it not amazing to just see how easy someone could climb but pole that long with so much ease? I met computers when I was in my class 7 in a boarding school I was at for just one term, at third term. It was love at first glance for me. The one I saw was black, not like James's that was white. But I loved the games. Teacher told us that these things would power the future. That really melted my heart, and I wanted to be in that place for longer. But remember, just as circumstance will make you change schools when a lovely girl joins your class, my mother was forced to take me from that school to a day school to finish off my primary school, class 8. You can imagine how heartbroken I was. I felt like I'm not going to be part of the future that computers were building in this society. It was hard for me to imagine that I'm no longer going to be going to the computer lab to type in something, to play around with the games, to experience and be part of the craze that was going to change the world. Little did I know that a far bigger shock was waiting for me in my first year of high school. After spending weeks trying to get into the computer class, because I didn't manage to get 400 and above marks out of 500, I finally got there. But the first cat in that class was there to tell me, Brian, you need to stay on your lane. And the question went, list down 100 computer system peripheral devices. I was there, writing down all that I knew: a mouse, a keyboard. I only had 6. And that was my 6%. I think this card was meant to drive people out of this class. Because if I was to sit the same exam now, I would probably still fail, because I don't even know 100 right now. But so all these experiences and my childhood fantasies continued to push me further, to power my ambition to study something around computing. I still wanted to be an engineer after all, but I found this new love, and I felt like they could coexist with each other. So this ambition went through my high school, all the way to my campus. When I entered campus, I embraced technology. I was happy about it. I had a colored phone, and I used that phone to do a lot of things. It was internet-enabled. Now, one question that kept bugging me in campus was, why does everything that we have, be it an online platform, be it something you're holding in your hands, the phones that we have, the computers, everything seems to come from either the West, the East, or the North? What is it with us? Is there anything we can call ours? Is there anything we can make? Is there anything that we can be capable of doing that can be used by the whole world? Questions would get me into building arguably Kenya's first social media platform for young people in my second year in campus. alongside my engineering courses, I spent more and more time studying how to program, studying how to become a graphics designer, getting to understand what it requires to make a software, getting to understand what it requires to make the app that you're using on your phone, what it requires to get into a building or a parking lot and just insert a coin or pick a coin and that thing just goes up. I was ambitious to create something that can be called an Africa. So throughout all that period, I studied and wanted to build something, a social media platform. In June 2014, when this social media platform was launched, with 1,000 users being our ambition, our hallmark of launch in a glamorous event, much like this. My mom was there, and a few other students from different campuses that I had invited. As I was standing in front there holding a mic, telling this story, telling why we're doing this, in a white t-shirt, in a blue logo on it, and then it occurred to me that I didn't just have a passion for this. This was something that my life was going to be all about. I was standing there trying to imagine how everything would work out. I struggled putting together a team that would help me power this mission. A mission to prove that Africa, especially Kenya, has a place in the global innovation realm. I struggled to even put or piece up a business model that would make this social network sustainable and self-reliant. It was hard to even expound the marketing capabilities that would make this thing popular beyond the 21 campuses I could manage to reach through my limited resources as a student. You know, all these experiences, every hard thing I had, every problem that I had at that young age, trying to piece up an organization, those that give me the biggest lessons of my life. I did actually write a white paper of the mistakes that I think that I made. This would carry me to the next phase of my life. I'm still in campus, and before I know it, with all my head fixed onto this social media platform, trying to be a Zuckerberg, it was time for me to take my second industrial attachment in my 4th year. It caught me by surprise. I was busy, like every other time. I was busy doing all these things. And I didn't have a plan. It was just 2 weeks to people doing the attachments. So I pieced up 2 applications, sent them over, but at the back of my mind, I was sure that that would not cut it. I mean, people applied to 10 organizations, 20 organizations just for an attachment. I did too. I was comfortable. I didn't have a plan, so I made a plan. And my plan was to get attached at my own venture and probably have my brother as my supervisor as they came in. But you know, what is that one reason why you should never trust spiders? They're ugly, 8 legs, always snooping around. But I don't trust them because they are always posting things on their web. And this almost cost my entire career because at that time, a specific skill was being sought out for by a water and energy company here in Kenya. And I obviously got to it late because I got to it or applied when almost all my classmates had applied for it. It was posted on our class WhatsApp group. You know, if I was at the shoulder of the hiring manager, trying to see how he's making his choice from the tens of emails, trying to find mine and trying to move around, I would be very tense. I applied late. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm worth it. I didn't even apply to any other organization apart from this one. I would have felt really anxious. The fact that here just tells me I got it. I got that opportunity to get attached at that company. You remember that social media network I told you about that I built? That was my biggest seller. I put it down my CV. You don't want to know how I tagged myself. I was the CEO of that company. And that was my biggest seller. I had the guts to do it. I had the guts to say it. And so this was an opportunity for me to practice my passion, something that I loved, to be an engineer and to develop something in an industry setup. And it's so easy and nice when you're having fun, especially when you're being paid for it. And time flies, right? So 4 months passed faster than I'd ever imagined. I mean, of course, don't get me wrong. I did break things. I froze at presentations. And I'm glad I'm surviving until now in this one. And I also spent days debugging code that are caused by a simple speech mark. Speech mark. The whole day, working day. And I also got a lot of exercise at work. Jumping to conclusions, pushing my luck really hard, and dodging deadlines like, I don't know, an antelope. So these things, every single day I walked into that office, I was like, oh, okay. So a bus stop is where the bus stops. A full stop is where the sentence stops, right? And the workstation is where? Work doesn't stop. It begins every single day you walk in. So with a working pilot project, I went back to campus, very happy, and with a rejuvenated enthusiasm that this is where my life was destined to go. It feels good to know that this project, this pilot project, now serves over 700 people in the whole of East Africa and helps this company to differentiate its products and deliver remote support and after-sales services is something that I single-handedly put together. Because my core task was very simple and clear. And you're going to use your engineering to work with other engineers and your software skills to build a remote management system for water pumps. I don't know if they had mercy on me, but those were very strong terms to use at that age. I should have been scared. But I know you've probably know a lot about entrepreneurship, right? You know a lot about entrepreneurship, starting a business and whatnot. You know about that. But what about intrapreneurship? Intrapreneurship, I believe, is how companies, especially large corporates, stay agile, they stay innovative, and they stay profitable. Intrapreneurship is something that ignites innovation and helps individuals to create a future within large corporations. And this is how my life was turning out 2 years to establish, to create a new entity within this large organization. It was something I didn't know. I did not know that I would be able to do. It was scary. But this was an opportunity of a lifetime. It allowed me to work with some of the most brilliant minds globally and to work directly with our group chairman, who has devoted a large portion of his life to a vision of enhancing people's lives through Pan-African-wide water and energy solutions. You know, when a company as huge as that, and I say it's huge because it's a leader in Eastern Africa in these things, has put all its resources at your disposal, the pressure of success is imaginable. And this was a scary thing to me. When everyone has their key performance indicators, and yours is not one of them, but you still have to find them in doing something together with them. When the engineer in you has to understand an 18-sheet financial modeling document and use it to build a profitable business from the scratch, from product to market. And many other complexities, which I found rather exciting. So what does it take really to do all that I'm talking about? What does it take to maintain your stance, maintain your posture at such a time when what you're doing is the focus of the organization you work for? How do you maintain focus on such a project when you have to go back home early? How do you maintain productivity at work in the day when you have a young daughter, you're a husband, and you're a father, and you have to go back home and listen to how Kaylee's day was at school before you go on blubbering about how your day was hectic and exciting at the same time? It takes building meaningful relationships with people. It takes promoting and exuding exemplary leadership to other people you work with. It takes promoting collaboration between team members and different departments in such a huge organization. And it takes subscribing to a visionary outlook, thinking the future and seeing where this could go. By immersing myself into this, giving my all, pouring my heart into it, and maintaining my resilience and my path in this course, I learned that it's only through this kind of struggles that you get to know yourself. You get to know your strength and what you're good at. And this is the only way you can manage the intricate project that only has one aim, a project that only has one vision, to deliver a simple and yet transformative solutions for Africa's financially underserved and markets, starting with the smallholder farmer by creating access to solar water pumps. I might have been lucky, but I also feel if I had faced this challenge, if I had not done what I did, it would have taken longer to get where I am now or where I'm about to go. When I think about my story and the challenges I went through, when I'm alone, of course, I shed tears. It makes me feel vulnerable. And I feel indebted greatly for every person that helped me, that shaped my perspective and helped me grow in this organization. The greatest of them being my intensely inspiring and encouraging boss. You know, I think of this every single time, and I feel this way. Every time I'm on my computer and I'm typing, and I press the alien's favorite spot on my computer, the space bar. The lessons and the aces I've picked from this story, and that I expect that you take home with you today, is that when you look at a section of passion in your profession, there you will find your practice. Something that you can do because you love it and you can be paid for it. And master what it takes to get you where you want to go. And present yourself when an opportunity comes to you. Something exciting takes place when opportunity meets preparedness. When you don't have either of these, you might feel like you just dropped in this world and destined for failure. But luckily, opportunities are always around us. And the good thing is they're not a keeper of person. Run straight to the person who is prepared. I believe that the many words that are used to encourage us, to motivate us today, don't mean much without these two aces. And today I stand here very happy and very proud and with a lot of energy. And I'm myself an electrical engineer by profession and a software engineer by passion and practice. Thank you.